They thought you'd crumble. They watched, smirking as the weight of the world buried you alive. They whispered behind closed doors, convinced you wouldn't survive. You weren't supposed to be here. You were meant to fail, to stay small, to remain beneath them. That's how they wanted it. But you're not like them. They didn't see the fire sparking in your darkness. They didn't realize every insult, every betrayal was fuel. Now it's your turn, and they never saw it coming. They mocked you. Every misstep, every failure was ammunition for their ridicule. They called you weak, useless, a mistake. You heard the snickers, felt their judging stares. The betrayal wasn't just from strangers. It came from those closest to you. Family, friends, people who were supposed to protect you. But when the world turned cold, they stepped aside and left you to freeze. You stumbled through the shadows, clutching the pieces of your broken self. You begged for help, for understanding, for someone to notice the war raging within you. But they didn't care. They laughed louder. Every night, the whispers in your head grew louder. You're not enough, they said. You'll never be enough. You doubted yourself. You cried silently, shattered by the weight of their words. Rage simmered beneath the surface, buried under layers of despair. You looked in the mirror and barely recognized the reflection. The person staring back was a stranger. Hollow eyes, trembling hands, a soul fractured by cruelty. They thought they had won. They thought you would stay there, drowning in their lies. But what they didn't understand was this. Darkness doesn't destroy, it transforms. Every tear, every insult, every scar, they weren't your end. They were your beginning, and deep inside something was changing. A force was building. They just didn't know it yet. They thought the darkness would consume you, but it did something else. It forged you. Every scar became a lesson, every betrayal a weapon. The pain didn't break you. It burned away the weakness, leaving nothing but steel. You stopped begging, stopped waiting, stopped apologizing. They wanted you broken, but instead, you adapted. You learned to fight, not with fists, but with relentless, unshakable will. The fire inside you couldn't be extinguished no matter how hard they tried. They underestimated you. They thought the pain would silence you, but it only made you louder, stronger. You stood up, bloodied but alive. And for the first time you saw the truth. They feared you. Every insult, every wound they inflicted, it was because they saw your potential. They were afraid of what you could become. And now, here you are, standing tall, untouchable, unstoppable. They wanted to bury you, but they forgot something vital. You are the storm. You are the fire. You are the force they'll never contain. Every wound is a badge of honor. Every scar is proof of survival. And now the same people who laughed at your pain are watching you rise. Their laughter is gone, replaced by silence, by awe, by fear. They thought they'd erased you, but now you're everywhere. You've become the shadow in their nightmares, the name they dare not speak. You didn't come back to forgive. You came back to take. They built their lives on your suffering, and now you're tearing it all down, piece by piece, brick by brick. They thought they could control you, but they never controlled the fire inside you. Do you hear them now? The whispers have turned into screams. The confidence they once had has crumbled into fear. They can't look you in the eye, they know what's coming. And you don't stop, you don't hesitate. Because this is your moment. This is your reckoning. You're not the same person they betrayed. That version of you is gone. The one who begged, who cried, who doubted themselves. Buried. In their place stands a force of nature, relentless and unyielding. The world is watching. They see what you've become, and they can't look away. They're obsessed with the very person they tried to destroy. They can't stop talking about you, thinking about you, fearing you. And now, every move you make is a reminder that you survived. You're not here to prove them wrong. You're here to show them they were never right. You're here to take back everything they stole, to claim the life they said you didn't deserve. This is your revenge, not with violence, but with success, with power, with resilience. Every step forward is a step over their doubts, their lies, their hate. You don't need their validation, you don't need their approval. You're past that. But they need you. They need your forgiveness, your attention, your mercy. And they'll never get it. You stand victorious, surrounded by the ashes of their expectations. This is your moment. This is the life they said you couldn't have. And now, they're obsessed. They watch your every move, desperate for a glimpse of the person they underestimated. But this isn't for them. It was never for them. This is for you. For every time you doubted yourself, every time you wanted to quit. This is for the person who stood up when the world tried to knock them down. They'll try to rewrite history. They'll pretend they always believed in you. But you'll never forget. You'll never forget the nights you spent alone, the tears you cried, the pain you endured. And you'll never forget that you survived it all. They wanted you weak, but now they'll kneel before your strength. They wanted you silent, but now your voice is the loudest in the room. They wanted you gone, but now you're the one they can't live without. Remember this. Your story doesn't end here. This is only the beginning. The world will try to test you again, but now you know the truth. You are unstoppable. You rose from the shadows. You embraced the pain. And now you stand as a symbol of resilience, a force of nature, a beacon for anyone who's ever been underestimated. So rise. Keep rising. Because the world needs to see what it means to survive the storm. what it means to turn pain into power. They'll keep watching, keep doubting, but you'll keep proving them wrong. One step at a time, one victory after another. Are you ready to rise? Are you ready to own your power? No more hiding, no more fear. This is your time, your story, your revenge. Now go, show them who you really are. Let the world feel the force of your transformation. Let them know they created their worst nightmare. And now you rise, relentless, unstoppable. If this ignited a fire within you, if this reminded you of your power, don't let it stop here. Subscribe now for more content that fuels your transformation. Be the storm they can't escape, the force they never saw,